Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve. Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into a time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
And we're staying in the reason for the season. This Friday before Christmas with the Aldrich Family from Christmas Eve. The show took place on Christmas Eve, but it was broadcast December 21st of 1952. We'll have an episode of the Fitch Bandwagon, the predecessor to the Phil Harris Alice Faye show from December 21st. And that program also took place on a Christmas Eve in story. And then a couple of other Christmas shows that will keep you in suspense. Dennis Day and Raymond Burr starring and Lum and Abner. And we thank you for making us a part of your Friday. This is the 21st day of December, 355th day of the year, 10 days left till we get to 2024. Arthur Wynn's Word Cross, the first crossword puzzle published in the New York World on this date in 1913. 1937, the film Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs premiered at the Carthay Circle Theater in Los Angeles.
Hi-ho, 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 it's home from work we go. Hi-ho, 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 it's home from work we go. We go. Hi-ho, 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 it's home from work we go.
Ah, yes, Walt Disney went all in on the production. It cost over $1.4 million to produce, a massive amount in 1937, and well over $25 million today. The gamble paid off for Disney. The movie raked in $418 million at the box office. Now, in 1968, Apollo 8, crewed by Frank Borman, Jim Lovell, and William Anders, launched from the Kennedy Space Center in Florida. That was in 1968. 20 years later, in 1988, a bomb exploded on board Pan Am Flight 103 over Lockerbie, Dumfries, and Galloway. 270 people killed.
There was a terrible explosion, and the whole sky lit up, and it was virtually raining fire. You know, it was just like liquid fire.
That was in 1988. In 2003, Libyan leader Muammar Gaddafi accepted responsibility for the Lockerbie bombing and paid compensation to the families of the victims, although he maintained he had never given the order for the attack. And it was back in 2020, a great conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn occurred. The two planets separated in the sky by 0.1 degree, the closest conjunction between the two planets since 1623. Passing away on this date in history, writer F. Scott Fitzgerald, and sports writer, sports journalist Dick Schaap.
Hi, this is Jeff Foxworthy. It is now time for the birthday announcements. The following people are now officially older than dirt.
And among those no longer with us born on this date, ventriloquist Paul Winchell. Remember him and Jerry Mahoney? That was funny. A fine ventriloquist. Also singer, guitarist, composer Frank Zappa. The Beach Boys, Carole Wilson. The woman who sang about the cleanup woman, Betty Wright, born on this date. And Olympic gold medalist in the 100 meters and 200 meters, world record holder for a number of years, sprinter Florence Griffin Joyner, Flojo. The wife of that girl. Yes, Phil Donahue turns 88 today. Jane Fonda is 86. Gee whiz, look at his eyes. Carla Thomas, 81 today. Samuel L. Jackson, 75. From Sweeney Todd, Hot Child in the City, Nick Gilder, 72. Tennis star Chris Evert, 69. Country singer Leroy Parnell, 67. Comedian and actor Ray Romano, 66. Comedian Andy Dick, 58. From JAG, Carrie Turner is 57. From 24 and Designated Survivor, Kiefer Sutherland, 57 years old. And yes, I think Designated Survivor could be reality these days. Yeah. From The Walking Dead, Stephen Yeun is 40. From Last Man Standing, Caitlin Dever is 27. And from Netflix's Outer Banks, Madeline Klein is 26. Those just a few of the people who celebrate the 21st day of December as their birthday. If this is your birthday,
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
and we'll start off this Friday edition of the Classic Radio Theater podcast with an episode of the Aldrich Family. 71 years ago, December 21st, 1952, Bobby Ellis as Henry, Christmas Eve with the Family. That's next on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
Civil defense is common sense. Hi, this is Tony Bennett. Make sure you're prepared if a nuclear attack ever comes.
To Jeff McGinnis and a number of others who are saying, wait a minute, Wyatt's back and doing a podcast? Yeah. We've been doing it for about 6 months since we ended the radio show. But one of the things you can do is share our podcast with your friends through social media and, of course, other resources. You can find more information at classicradio.stream. That's classicradio.stream. And check it out there always. And if you want to help support us, you can do that there as well by doing some shopping there. And you can also buy me a copy if that interests you as well. Alrighty, let us go back 72 years, December 21st, 1952. Bobby Eldridge, the last Henry Aldrich, in an episode of The Aldrich Family.
And now, a Merry Christmas to you. And here, The Aldrich Family on NBC.
Henry Aldrich!
Coming, Mother.
Yes, it's The Aldrich Family is transcribed, written by Clifford Goldsmith. The holiday season is always the wide-eyed time of the year for a typical teenage boy. But no matter how wide open his eyes are, he's almost certain to walk right smack into some assorted troubles, especially if he's like Henry Aldrich. The scene opens at the Aldrich breakfast table. The time is morning.
10, 11, 12.
Henry, will you pass the cream, please?
The cream, Mary, here you are. 12, 13.
Henry, that's the sugar you're passing.
Oh, excuse me, here. 12, 13, 14.
Henry, may I have that piece of toast if you aren't going to eat it?
I'm going to eat it, Mother. Was that 13 or 14?
12.
Now, Sam, don't rattle him. It was 14, dear.
14? Are you sure?
Yes, Henry.
14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Well, gee whiz.
What's the matter?
Do you know how many Christmas cards I received this time last year?
How many?
According to my records, 35. That shows how times change.
Well, Henry, this is only the day before Christmas. There's one more delivery.
Well, I know, Mother, but all my old standbys are heard from. I can't depend on any new ones coming in.
Henry, are you sure you have the right attitude toward Christmas?
The right attitude, Father? Well, I've got to know where I stand, don't I? I've slipped back to practically 1949.
All right, dear, all right. Eat your cereal.
Yeah, I'm eating it, Mother.
Sam, did we send the Whitmores a card?
The Whitmores? Who are the Whitmores?
Well, don't you remember? We met them on the train coming back from Chicago.
You mean that trip we took way back in 1946?
Yes.
And they're still sending us cards?
Every Christmas. Naturally, we ought to send them one.
Henry, are you going to Nancy Adams' party tonight?
What's that, Mary?
The party tonight. Are you going?
Well, I'll tell you, Mary.
Henry, Nancy isn't giving a party on Christmas Eve, is she?
Well, In a way, she's giving it on Christmas Eve.
What do you mean, in a way she is?
Well, Father, I hope you don't think I'm going to walk out on my whole family tonight. You don't have to worry about that.
You mean you're not going, Henry?
Mary, do you have to pin your own brother down like that? I'm just going for a little while.
Why, Henry, we always spend Christmas Eve together as a family and then go to church together.
Mother, I thought that after we got the tree trimmed, well, naturally we'd want to sit around and rest for a second. And I thought that while we're resting, I'd just race over and say hello to the gang and then come around and meet you at the church.
Oh, you had it all figured out, huh?
Well, I didn't have it figured out exactly. I just thought I'd be prepared if the subject came up.
Well, dear, I'm sorry to have to tell you, but you're not going to any party tonight.
Not even for 12 minutes?
Not even for 2 minutes.
My goodness, Henry, don't you realize tonight is Christmas Eve?
Alice, who are Ed and Bill?
Ed and Bill? Ed and Bill who, dear?
I don't know. This card's just signed Ed and Bill.
Well, isn't that strange?
Mother, is the subject of the party dropped for good?
Yes, dear. Sam, look at this.
At what?
I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards here from people we haven't sent cards to. And here it is the day before Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Gee whiz, Homer. Where'd you come from? Hello, Mrs. Aldrich.
Good morning, Homer.
Hello, Homer.
Good morning, Homer.
Henry, I've got a very private piece of news for you. You have? Gee whiz, is that coffee cake?
Yes, dear. Wouldn't you like to go out in the kitchen and get a plate and have a piece?
Well, no, thank you. I've got my gloves on. I'll just take a piece right here.
Homer, what's that in your coat lapel?
Mistletoe, Mary.
Oh.
Mr. Aldrich, are you expecting any telegrams today?
Telegrams?
Because if you are, I'll keep my eyes open for them for you.
Why? Are you working down at the telegraph office?
Well, not yet exactly, Mrs. Aldrich, but I've been talking to them about it. And things may open up at the last minute. Will you excuse me, please, everybody? Come on, Homer.
Henry, you didn't fold your napkin.
I didn't even unfold it.
Alice, we didn't meet anybody by the name of Ed and Bill at Atlantic City that summer, did we?
Homer, what do you got to tell me? Gee, I got wonderful news for you, I think. What about? Eleanor's going to give you a Christmas present. Who, me? Well, sure. I just met her on the street, and she wanted me to ask you to meet her in front of the Centerville gift shop just as soon as you can get there. Well, gee, what makes you think she's going to give me something? That's why she wants you to meet her, so you can help her pick out a wallet. A wallet? I'm not kidding you, Henry. I swear that's what she told me. Oh, Homer, did Eleanor come right out and say she was going to give it to me? Well, of course she didn't. I said to her, I said, you mean you're getting it for Henry? And she got all red and embarrassed and said, well, of course not. I'm getting it for my father. But I could tell she was covering up. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. And I'm to meet her down at the gift shop, she said? Well, sure. Just as soon as you can get there.
Hello, is this Toby Smith?
Yes?
Well, this is Eleanor Wentworth. Toby, could you meet me down at the gift shop in the next 15 minutes?
At the Centerville gift shop?
Yes, I'm there now. I want you to help me pick out a wallet.
A wallet? You mean a man's wallet?
Yes, of course, only I don't know anything about that sort of thing.
You mean you're getting...
It's for my father.
For your father. That's a hot one.
Toby, really it is, and I'd love to see what kind you'd pick out.
Well, sure, Eleanor. Oh, boy, I'll be down there in 10 minutes.
Hello?
Hello, Alice. This is Sam.
Yes, dear, where are you?
Down at the office. Do you remember the Mulligans?
The Mulligans?
They live over in Abbott City. What's his first name?
Well, I believe it's Joe.
Joe?
Yes, I'm sure it's Joe.
Then the Mulligans didn't send that card from Ed and Bill. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Father, will you please take a look at this Christmas card I just got?
Well, let me see it.
Isn't that embarrassing? I bet it cost 75 cents.
Who's it from, dear?
From Homer. Isn't that embarrassing?
Oh, well, now, I think it was a very nice thing for him to do.
But, Mother, do I have to send one back to him?
Well, of course, Mary. Now, please don't bother me, dear. I've got to wrap up that fruitcake I've been meaning to send Mrs. Hawkins all week.
To Mrs. Hawkins?
Yes, dear. She has 3 boys in the service, and she's all alone this Christmas.
Mother! Mother, where are you?
I'm out here in the kitchen, Henry, and I'm very busy.
Well, I'm very sorry to interrupt you like this, but could I have a talk with you confidentially about something important?
Well, what's happened, dear?
Well, nothing. Only could you please step into the dining room a second? Mary, I don't like to be rude, but this is about Christmas.
Oh, that's all right, Henry. Only I hope you're not going to spend a whole lot on me.
On who? Now, Mary, don't start getting any ideas.
Henry, you'll have to hurry. I haven't more than a minute.
Yes, Mother. Here's what happened. Eleanor Wentworth has given me a $3.95 wallet, plus tax.
What's that?
A wallet. It's made of leather, and it even has a place for my student body.
For your what?
My student body card. That's in case if I'm in an accident, people will know who I am.
Well, now, just 1 minute, dear. Suppose you calm down and tell me very slowly what it is that happened.
But, Mother, there's no time to lose. I've got to have $4.
What for?
Don't you understand? I've got to give Eleanor a present just as good as the one she's giving me, haven't I?
Well, frankly, Henry, if Eleanor at her age wants to spend money on presents for boys, it's none of my business. But I don't believe I have $4 to give you to buy her anything.
But, Mother, what am I going to do about Toby Smith?
What's that?
Well, Toby Smith was down there, too, putting his 2 cents worth because he thinks the wall is for him. And Eleanor pointed out something that she's crazy about. And it costs $4. And if I don't beat him to it, he'll get it first. And then won't I look like a fool?
Henry, if you have $4 of your own, that's something else. But I really don't think I should give it to you.
Mother, will you please look at what I just discovered? I'm certainly not going to send a card to Homer.
Why not, Mary?
Look, Mother, I held the card he sent me under a very strong light, and look at what's been erased on it. I hope you like your gun. Love, Aunt Beth.
Oh, dear. Homer was probably just cutting down expenses.
Mary, could you step into the living room while I have a confidential talk with you for a second?
What about?
Christmas.
Oh, you want some advice?
Mary, do you remember what it was I was going to do just as Henry came in?
No, Mother. Well, Henry?
Do you know Toby Smith?
Yes.
Do you like him?
Henry, I can't stand him.
Mary, I'm sure glad to hear you say that. Could you lend me $4?
$4?
Well, look, Mary, if I don't give Eleanor more than a 25-cent handkerchief, I'll never be able to walk on a public street again. And I know just exactly what she wants.
What?
Well, she pointed it out in the gift shop. She said it was about the nicest thing she'd ever seen.
What was it?
Mary, haven't you even been listening? A Christmas tree that lights up.
A what?
To wear on the lapel of your coat. It's a pin, see, and it has a little battery in it.
Really?
Sure, and it's only $4. And they've only got one left.
But, Henry, you already owe me money.
Hey, Henry! Gee whiz, Homer, where are you? Boy, I think I'm going to get that job delivering telegrams this afternoon. Oh, that's fine. Listen, Mary. Hello, Mary.
Hello, Homer.
Did you... Have the mails been coming through all right today?
Yes.
Well, how do you feel?
I feel just fine.
Oh. Homer, what is it you want? Listen, did you know Toby Smith is taking Eleanor to the party tonight? You're crazy. Who told you that? Toby did. I met him just a little while ago on his way home. He had to get some money to buy something. Mary, do you hear that? Haven't you got any family pride? Which counter is it at, Henry? It's right over here, Homer. Oh, mister.
Something I can do for you, young man?
Yes, sir. I came back to get the tree.
What's that?
The Christmas tree that lights up.
Oh, yes. We do have a nice one here in the store this year, haven't we?
I guess he's hard of hearing, Henry. No, the little Christmas tree.
The what?
Don't you remember the little Christmas tree that surprises you when it lights up?
Oh, you mean the pin?
Sure. I finally got the $4 for it.
Well, I'm sorry, but that's just been sold.
What's that? It's been sold?
Less than 10 minutes ago.
Well, that's a fine thing. After I promised to make my sister's bed every morning for a month as compound interest.
I'm sorry, sir.
Hey, look, Henry, how about getting Eleanor just a straight flashlight? Boy, I saw one that's so powerful it'll blind her. Homer, what would she do with a flashlight? Well, I know darn well I'd like it. Mister, are you positive that pin's been sold?
There's the clerk over there who made the sale. She might even be able to tell you who bought it.
Oh, I know who bought it. I just don't see how he got down here so fast. And Eleanor said herself it's the only pin she's ever seen she really liked.
Hey, mister.
Gee whiz, Toby, what are you doing back here?
Mister, how about that Christmas tree that lights up like a pin? I mean, you know what I mean.
I beg your pardon?
The pin.
I'm sorry, young man, but that pin's been sold.
It's been sold?
Yeah?
Oh, now listen, Henry.
Gee whiz, Toby, you mean you didn't buy it?
Now listen, Henry, I'm supposed to get that for Eleanor. Hand it over.
Hand what over? I haven't got it.
Toby, stop pushing, Henry.
That's what I say.
Listen, Homer Brown, did you buy it?
Hey!
Now listen, Toby.
Now, wait a minute, boys. Wait a minute. Be careful of that piece on earth sign.
Hello?
Hello, Sam Morris speaking.
Oh, hello, Sam. This is Alice.
Yeah?
Didn't you room with someone at Princeton by that name?
By what name?
Ed or Bill?
He didn't have both names. Anyhow, we called him Murph.
Oh. Well, the reason I called, dear, is to ask what we ought to do about Homer.
Homer, what's happened to him?
Well, he was here just a little while ago, and after he left, I found a card on the living room table addressed to me.
Yes?
Well, he's apparently saving postage. Don't you think I ought to give him something rather nice?
All right. How about one of your fruitcakes?
Sam, that reminds me. Don't let me forget to send Mrs. Hawkins that fruitcake.
That's a nice idea. No one in town I'd rather remember. She's got 3 sons in the service.
That's the way I feel.
And now that it's starting to snow pretty hard, tell Henry he'd better start shoveling.
Well, Henry isn't here right now.
Well, when he comes in, tell him.
All right, dear. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Mother!
Yes, Henry?
I've got to ask you something.
Dear, your father wants you to keep the walks cleared of snow.
Sure, Mother, but listen. Who could this be? She's a lady, see? She's a lady.
What's that?
Well, now wait, Mother. She's a lady about so high, see, and she wears a black coat with a black fur collar. Who is she?
Henry, what are you talking about?
Who is she, Mother? Who is she? I've got to know.
Is this a game, Henry?
A game? Mother, my whole Christmas is at stake. She's my only clue.
Henry, I can't possibly know who you're talking about.
Well, gee whiz, you know all the ladies in town. Now listen very carefully. She comes up to here on me, see? She wears a black coat with fur cuffs.
I thought you said a fur collar.
I did? Sure. And she's not very heavy. She weighs maybe... Well, you know Mrs. Brown?
Yes?
Well, she isn't like that at all, but that'll give you an idea. and she wears her eyeglasses on a chain.
Well, my goodness. Henry, why do you have to know the answer?
She's got the tree. She's got the tree.
Whose tree?
My tree that I'm giving Eleanor.
What's that?
She got there ahead of Toby and me, don't you see? The clerk described her to me, and I got to find her and make her an offer.
She wears her glasses on a chain, and she's about so high.
And fur on a coat.
Well, the only person that reminds me of is Mrs. Kittinger.
Mrs. Kittinger? Gee whiz, why didn't I think of her? I'll go right over.
Now, wait a minute, Henry. It might just possibly be Mrs. Tarbell.
Mrs. Tarbell? Sure, that sounds like Mrs. Tarbell. I'll go right over.
No, wait. I just thought of someone else who wears her glasses on a chain.
A woman?
Oh, yes, of course, Miss Perkins.
Miss Perkins? All right, I'll try Miss Perkins, Mrs. Tarbell, and Mrs. Kittinger.
And don't forget the front wall.
No, I won't, Mother. Just as soon as I've taken care of this. Goodbye.
Henry, I thought of someone else. Henry!
Hello there, Henry Aldrich. Won't you step inside?
No, thanks, Mrs. Kittinger. I'll only get snow all over your rug.
Oh, my goodness, look at the snow. Well, what can I do for you, Henry?
Well, first, do you have a coat with fur on it?
Why, not to give away, Henry.
No, I was just wondering. I thought you wore glasses.
Why, I do sometimes. Did your mother send you over?
Well, in a way, she did. Were you down at the gift shop this morning?
Yes, I was.
Well, did you make a purchase there?
Yes, of course. As a matter of fact, it was very foolish of me to wait until the last minute. There was hardly anything left.
I'll say.
Henry, just what was it you wanted?
Nothing. Gee, your walk certainly needs shoveling, doesn't it?
Yes, I'm afraid it does.
Well, Mrs. Kittinger, if you have a shovel, I'd be very glad to clean it off for you.
Well, now, that's very thoughtful of you, Henry. And I'd be glad to pay you.
Oh, no, I wouldn't take any money from you. But when I get through, Mrs. Kittinger, you're going to be around, aren't you?
Yes.
Because I want to have a little talk with you.
Why, Henry Aldrich.
How do you do, Mrs. Tarbell? Merry Christmas.
And Merry Christmas to you.
Well, I'm sure glad to see you're wearing your glasses on a chain.
What's that?
Boy, did I make a mistake over at Mrs. Kittinger's. She wears them, but they're not on a chain. And that's where I got off on the wrong foot.
Henry, didn't I see you just as I was leaving the gift shop this morning?
Did you?
Yes, I'm sure I did.
Mrs. Tarbell, how would you like to have your walk clean?
We'll return to the Aldrich family in just a moment. Later this evening, NBC will deliver a Christmas package bursting with good cheer. A radio adaptation of Charles Dickens' classic, The Pickwick Papers. Our stars will be Alan Webb, Melville Cooper, and Cyril Richard. The Pickwick Papers over the years has become the favorite of young and old alike, and it's in keeping with the holiday season. Don't miss The Pickwick Papers, as brought to you by Theater Guild on the Air later tonight. Now, tomorrow night, NBC will bring you more Yuletime entertainment when the Railroad Hour welcomes as guest soprano Dorothy Kirsten. Miss Kirsten will join your singing host, Gordon McCrae, in excerpts from the Nutcracker Suite and Christmas songs of many countries. Stay tuned to NBC tomorrow evening, the Monday night of music. You'll hear the Telephone Hour, the Voice of Firestone, an old-fashioned band concert by Paul Laval and the Band of America, and NBC's newest show, which features the talents of Marguerite Piazza, Robert Merrill, and NBC's man about music, Meredith Wilson. Now, getting back to the troubles of Henry Aldrich. Well, so far this Christmas, Henry's one purpose is to catch up with the lady who bought the only pin of its kind in town, a pin that cost $4 and that looks like a small Christmas tree, which Eleanor said she'd just love to have if anyone wanted to give her anything. The scene opens in the Aldrich living room.
Sam, are you home?
I am. I thought I sent word for Henry to clean off our walk.
Well, dear, I asked him to, but he went out and he hasn't come back since.
Ah, and look at me. I had to wade through a drift up to my knees.
Will you go right up and change your clothes?
What gotten into that boy? You can take time to shovel other people's walks, but not ours.
Why do you say that?
Miss Perkins stopped me on the street on the way home and told me how nice it was of Henry to come over and clean her walk.
Well, my goodness.
Oh, and here, see whether you can figure these Christmas cards out. One is signed Ida and one is signed Van.
Ida? I never heard of Ida.
Well, who's Van?
Well, that isn't the point, dear. But why would any Ida be sending you a card at the office?
I'm going up and soak my feet.
Hello?
This is Western Union calling. Is Henry Aldrich there?
No, he isn't. Do you have a telegram for him?
No, I just wanted to say hello.
Who is this?
It's Homer. I got the job. Goodbye.
What's that?
Mother, I have that fruitcake ready for Mrs. Hawkins.
You have, Mary? Sam!
Yes, Alice?
Have you started to soak yet?
What?
Well, my gracious. Christmas is always like this. Hello?
Is this Miss Aldrich?
Yes?
This is Mrs. Kittinger. I just wanted to call and tell you how nice it was of you to send Henry over.
What's that?
I say it was so sweet of you to send Henry over to clean my walk.
Oh. Oh, did he clean yours, too?
Yes, he did a perfect job. And he wouldn't take a cent. All he wanted to do was come in and look at the presents I'm giving.
What's that?
All right, Alice. What is it you want?
Merry Christmas, Mrs. Aldrich.
Well, thank you very much, and Merry Christmas to you.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye. Sam, what are you doing down here in your bare feet?
You asked me to come down. What do you want?
Oh. Oh, well, I was going to ask you to take that fruitcake over to Mrs. Hawkins, but I guess it will have to wait.
But I'm down here now.
No, dear, you go right back up and soak.
Hey, Henry, isn't that you? Sure, Homer. What is it you want? Well, come on with me while I deliver a couple of telegrams. Gee whiz, I'm tired. I'm going home. It's only a few blocks out of your way. Homer, look at me. My feet are wet. I haven't had any lunch. Boy, what have you been doing? I've been shoveling every walk in town. Boy, did my mother double-cross me. Yeah, but look, Henry, my first stop is Mrs. Hawkins, just 3 doors down the street. I'll even let you borrow one of my gloves. Here, take the right one. I carry my telegrams in the left one. Thanks. Hey, one of the telegrams I've got is a war message. A what? Sure, it's from John Hawkins to his mother. He's in an army camp down in Texas. I thought John Hawkins was in Korea. No, his 2 brothers are in Korea. Now, here's the house right here. And that's a war message you have for her? Well, sure. John says he's very sorry, but he wasn't able to get a furlough to come home. And he's also sorry he and his brothers can't all be here tonight to spend an old-fashioned Christmas with their mother. Yeah? And then he wishes her a Merry Christmas. Homer, I thought you weren't supposed to read confidential messages. Well, she was I haven't read you the message, Henry. Besides, everybody will know about it tomorrow.
Oh, how do you do, boys?
How do you do, Mrs. Hawkins? A telegram.
For me? Won't you step in while I see whether it needs an answer?
Okay. Only I don't think you'll find it does, Mrs. Hawkins.
No? Now let me see it. I can get my glasses untangled. This chain is always catching on something.
Can I help you untangle it?
No, thank you. I have it.
Mrs. Hawkins!
I'll be there in just 1 minute.
Gee whiz, Homer, that sounds like Toby Smith in the living room.
Mrs. Hawkins, this is it, all right. I'll pay you $4 for it.
Toby, what are you doing here? Hey, look, Homer, they're on a chain. What? They're glasses. Now listen, Toby, you can't have that pin.
Get away, Henry.
Now listen, Toby. Henry, don't let him push you like that.
Boys, look out for that angel.
Now listen, Henry.
There, darn you.
Hey!
Boys, watch the door.
Well, gee whiz.
Would you mind putting another log on the fire, please?
That's just what I'm going to do.
My goodness, but it's an awful night out. You ought to look out the window, Mother. I've never seen so much snow on Christmas Eve.
Mary, straighten that piece of holly that's hanging right over your father.
All right. Hold still, Father.
I can't lift the log and hold still, too.
Dear, look out for the sparks.
They're all right.
Mary, when Henry came a while ago, exactly what did he say?
He just asked whether you and Father were in, and I said no, you'd gone out to do some shopping, and then he ran upstairs. And when he came down, he had his best suit on.
And that's all he said.
Well, he said to tell you he finally straightened out the whole problem of Eleanor's present, and that he was in an awful hurry to get down to the glass cutters, and something about a party.
Sam, what do you think we ought to do?
Phone wherever the party is and tell him to come home.
Now, dear, we aren't going to do anything like that.
Didn't you explain to Henry that we always spend Christmas Eve together, as all families do?
Dear, if Henry doesn't want to spend this evening with us, it's something I'm not going to force him to do.
Mother, don't you think he ought to be punished?
Mary, dear, will you go out to the kitchen and get that big bowl of fruit and nuts out there?
Yes, Mother.
Cheer up, Alice. He'll be along shortly.
Sam, I'm afraid Henry doesn't even begin to know what Christmas really means. The one thing he's thought about all day is himself and that present he wanted to get Eleanor. That's the only thing that's meant anything to him. He didn't shovel the walk. He didn't get the cellar window fixed. Oh, my goodness, Sam. That reminds me. You didn't get that fruitcake over to Mrs. Hawkins.
Well, how could I, Alice? I had to go out and shovel the walk for Henry.
Oh, I know, dear. But here it is Christmas Eve and Mrs. Hawkins. Well, of all the people in this town, we should have sent one to...
All right, Alice, all right. I'll take it over first thing tomorrow.
Well, can't we take it over now?
Tonight, in this storm?
Well, we could certainly drop it off on the way to church, can't we?
Alice, I realize Mrs. Hawkins misses her boys like everything, but the church is in one direction and the Hawkins house is in the other. It's snowing to beat the band. I'll take it over first thing tomorrow.
Very well.
Incidentally, I wonder how the Hawkins boys are getting along.
Well, I understand she hears from them quite often.
Yes, there was always one thing about them. They were devoted to their mother.
Yes.
Alice, don't cry. I didn't mean it that way.
I'm not crying.
Here's the bowl of fruit and nuts, Mother. Will you have some?
No, dear. What would I want with any fruit and nuts?
Why, it's Christmas Eve. Father?
I'm not hungry, Mary.
What's the matter? I thought you wanted me to bring them in.
We did, dear. Just put them down there on the table where they'll look Christmassy.
Oh.
And light the candles on the piano just as though... Dear, where are you going?
I'm going to phone Henry and tell him to leave that party and come home.
Sam Aldrich, I don't want you to.
But, Mother, if Father does, then Henry won't even be here to go to church with us.
Now, Henry knows we're going. If he isn't here by then, we'll go alone.
When they had heard the king, they departed. And lo, the star which they saw in the east went before them, till it came and stood over where the young child was. When they saw the star, they rejoiced with exceeding great joy. Let us all rise while we sing, We Three Kings of Orient Are.
Sam.
Yes, Alice.
Sam, look.
Where?
Just 3 rows ahead. It's Mrs. Hawkins.
Yeah? You mean we should have brought the fruitcake with us?
No, dear. Look who's with her.
My goodness, Mother, look. Have the 3 Hawkins boys come home?
No, Mary. Can't you see who that is with her? It's Henry and Homer and Toby. Sam, just look at Henry. I've never seen him look so nice.
Alice, I've just remembered who Ed and Bill are. They're Mrs. Hawkins' 2 sons in Korea.
Guide us to thy
One of the brightest futures open today is ready for the girl who chooses nursing as her profession. You'll receive a professional education. You'll work with doctors and professional people. You'll associate with the finest citizens in the community. What's especially important, you'll be serving humanity and be ready to serve your country in time of emergency. You can join this hand-picked group of young women if you're a high school graduate or a college student of good health and character. Talk it over with your school advisor, or go to your nearest hospital today and ask how you can become a nurse. The Aldrich Family is transcribed as written by Clifford Goldsmith. Henry is played by Bobby Ellis and Homer by Jack Grimes. Mr. and Mrs. Aldrich are House Jameson and Barbara Robbins. Your announcer is Dick Dudley. Listen again next week, same time, same station, for another sparkling half hour with the Aldrich Family.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
71 years ago, December 21st, 1952, the Aldrich Family. Let's get on the bandwagon and jump back 76 years to get on the Fitch Bandwagon with Phil Harris and Alice Faye. We'll do that next on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
Civil defense is common sense. This is Fred McMurray. Home shelters can be built for as little as $100. Simple plans for building inexpensive home shelters are available free from your Civil Defense office. Ask for a copy of the Family Fallout Shelter booklet.
Thanks for listening to Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. So let's jump back 76 years, December 21st, 1947, and see what's going on with the Fitch Bandwagon, Phil Harris and Alice Faye.
Laugh a while, let a song be your style. Use Fitch shampoo. Don't despair, use your head, save your hair. Use Fitch shampoo.
Is your shampoo doing right by you? Yes, is your shampoo doing right by you?
Well, my shampoo lathers all right, but it doesn't remove my dandruff.
I've tried one shampoo after another. They all suds up and rinse out, but I still have dandruff.
If your shampoo is letting you down, when it comes to removing dandruff, switch to Fitch. Fitch's Dandruff Remover Shampoo. It's guaranteed to remove all dandruff. Medical authorities say there are two kinds of dandruff. One is loose and flaky. It's the unsightly kind. The other clings to the scalp. It's the invisible, irritating kind. If your present shampoo is doing only half the job, removing only part of your dandruff, remember, Fitch removes both kinds completely. So, be free of unsightly dandruff, be free of invisible, irritating dandruff. Yes, be free of all embarrassing dandruff.
Fitch is the only shampoo who's guaranteed to remove dandruff with first application, is backed by one of the world's largest insurance firms.
So, switch to Fitch. At drug counters, barber and beauty shops, ask for Fitch's Dandruff Remover Shampoo. Fitch Shampoo does right by you. The F.W. Fitch Company, makers of Fitch Shampoo, presents the Fitch Bandwagon, written by Ray Singer and Dick Chevrolet, with Elliot Lewis, Janine Roos, Ann Whitfield, Robert North, Walter Scharf in his music, and starring Alice Faye and Phil Harris. For weeks now, the Harris children, like children all over the world, have been thinking of nothing but Christmas and Santa Claus. They've been on their best behavior. And as we look in, we find Alice complimenting the children on their good deportment.
Now, you've been particularly good, Alice. You've gone to sleep early, you've put all your toys away, you've finished all your food at mealtime, and you drink all your milk.
Gee, I've been a regular little angel, haven't I, Mommy?
Oh, no, let's not go that far. As for you, honey, you've been just as good as Alice. You, too, have been going to bed early, putting your toys away and eating all your food. The only thing is you haven't been drinking all your milk.
Well, I tried to, but you know how that stuff gags me.
Quiet, Phil. I'm talking to little Phyllis. Where is she? She was here a minute ago.
She went in the den, Mommy. I'll get her. Phyllis, Mommy wants you to come. Phyllis, what are you doing with those crayons? Oh, I was just going to draw a picture on the wall. Don't do that. You know we gotta be good till Christmas. But I've been good for 3 weeks now. Gee, how long can they expect a kid to be so good? Alice, it's an awful strain. I know, but it's only 4 more days. Don't crack up now. You've been so good for so long. I know, but as Daddy always says, it ain't been easy, Buster. Alice, have you asked Mommy and Daddy about Santa Claus yet? No, but I will.
Children, what's going on in here?
Yeah, what are you two doing?
Oh, nothing. Just sitting here being good. Mommy, Daddy, we want to ask a favor. We'd like to stay up and see Santa Claus when he brings the presents on Christmas Eve.
Yeah, well, but, honey, he has a lot of other stops to make, and, well, he might get here very late.
Can't we, Daddy, please?
Well, okay. Now, you kids continue to behave yourselves, and I promise that you'll see Santa on Christmas Eve. Now, run along and play.
Thanks, Daddy. Gee, I can hardly wait for Christmas Eve.
Phil, why did you promise the children that? Now, if they don't see Santa, they'll be very disappointed.
But they're going to see him. And just to make sure, I'll dress up like Santa and come down the chimney. They won't be able to tell me from the real one.
Daddy.
Yes, dear?
Don't you dress up and make believe you're Santa like last year. Boy, was that corny.
Alice, I still can't figure out how they knew it was me last year. What did I do that was wrong?
Well, for one thing, you were supposed to come in singing Jingle Bells.
I did.
But those lyrics, I can still hear them. Ham, hocks, and turnip greens, they melt right in your mouth. A candy jams and a hominy grits, and that's what I like about the South. Yeah!
And what's wrong with those lyrics?
That isn't the way we sing it up north.
Can I help it if you Yankees don't know the right words? You don't think I can play St. Nick? We'll get somebody else to do it.
I wonder why the girls are so anxious to see Santa Claus. Phil, do you suppose...
Gee, I hope not. Hey, Alice, look, we just got to produce a Santa Claus on Christmas Eve.
Well, don't worry about it, Phil.
Well, I got to worry about it. Somebody's got to worry about it. It's important. I got to think of something. Now, let me concentrate. If I think hard enough, something will come out.
Good morning, Philip.
For this, I had to concentrate, Jack.
Hello, William.
Hello, dear. Philip, are you in pain? You have such a strained expression on your face.
I'm thinking. Now, if you want to talk to me, come back later. I got a thought running through my mind.
I'll wait. Through your mind, it's only a short dash, and it won't take long.
Get a load of this red skeleton of Encino. Look, don't bother me, Willie. I'm trying to think so that we've got to get somebody to play Santa Claus for the kids on Christmas Eve, and we want to get someone who looks and sounds like the real thing.
Well, if that's your problem, you needn't look any further. I shall be glad to portray Christopher Kringle.
Christopher? Well, Donner, my Blitzen. Christopher, fine Santa Claus you'd make.
I'd make an excellent one. I'm quite an actor, you know. I can see myself popping out of the chimney, bounding into the living room and saying, ho, 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 and a Merry Christmas to you little kiddies. And what do you wee darlings desire as a Yuletide memento?
Thank you, Catherine Cornell. Look, get lost, Index. Go make a double entry, son.
Well, I guess I'm not wanted around here, so...
Oh, wait now, wait. Don't take it to heart, Willie. You're not a bad guy. You're always trying to do the right thing.
Oh, do you really think so, Philip?
Yeah. It ain't your fault that you're a schnook and don't know how.
Very well, Mr. Harris. I'll leave and let you do things your own blundering way. Goodbye, Alice, dear. And to think she could have married Rudy Valley.
There goes a cute little character. He has all the charm of live bait. Hey, look, Alice, seriously, what are we going to do? Now, we're going to have to get someone for the kids who look like Santa, and Hey, wait a minute. I got just the guy, Don Wilson.
Oh, Phil, Don would be perfect. He's jovial, he has a cheery face, and he's rotund.
Yeah, and he's fat, too. Hey, honey, why don't you call Don and see if he can come over Christmas Eve?
All right. I'll call him right now.
Yeah. Gee whiz, the children never have seen Don, and they can't possibly recognize him. I can hardly wait to see how the kids react on Christmas Eve. You know, there's something wonderful about watching a kid on Christmas, waiting for Santa and listening for those jingle bells. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh.
Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh.
O'er the fields we go, laughing all the way.
Bells on bobtail ring, they're making spirits bright. What fun it is to ride and sing a sleighing song tonight. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Hey!
Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey! Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. A day or two ago, I thought I'd take a ride, and soon Miss Alice Faye was seated by my side.
The horse was lean and lank, misfortune seemed his lot. He got into a drifted bank and we got upset.
Jingle bells,
the snow with a hey, ha, 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 ho, ha, ho. With sleigh bells ringing, gaily singing, merrily we go.
Jingle bells,
white, a snow so cold and crisp and light with sharp and
jingle
we are
all
going
the
on
way.
through the night.
Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey, hey, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in an open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Gee whiz, I sure hope Don can make it. You know, he's going to be terrific as Santa Claus because that must be Frankie.
Hiya, Curly.
Hi, Frankie. Come on in.
Yeah.
Hey. What do you got in all those packages?
Christmas presents. I got some things for the kids, Alice. And here's something for you, Curly.
For me? Ah, you got a present for little curly-headed me.
Yeah, I got you.
Oh, gee, Frankie. That's sweet of you. I don't know what to say.
That's all right, Curly.
But the thought. Gee, you don't know how I appreciated it. Well, it touches me deeply.
If you're going to get sloppy about it, I'll take it back.
Well, I appreciate it, Frankie, but, well, I didn't want you to go out and spend a lot of money on me.
I didn't. I spent most of my money on the kids. After all, Christmas is for them. Where's Alice?
Oh, she's inside calling Don Wilson. You see, the kids want to see Santa Claus on Christmas Eve, so we're asking Don to play it.
Why are you getting Don Wilson to play Santa?
Well, what else am I going to do?
We'll let him stay up and see the real Santa Claus.
Yeah, but I don't know what time he's coming. Did you say something?
Yeah. Why don't you let the kids see the real Santa Claus?
Move over, Frankie. You'll get some of that stuff on me. Get over.
You're another one of those cynics, huh? Wise guy who don't believe.
You do?
Of course. You know, just because you never seen him don't mean he's not there. You must realize, Curly, there are some things in life that are inexplicable. Psychic phenomena that are ethereal and beyond the comprehension of we mere mortals.
What was that?
What's the matter? Did I say something vulgar? No, Curly, you can take my word for it. The real guy will show up.
Okay, Remley, stop.
All I gotta say is it's a good thing kids have more common sense and faith than most grown-ups. Christmas wouldn't be much fun. I know that on Christmas Eve, old St. Nick and his reindeer will come flying through the sky.
Yeah. But do you mind if we have somebody stand by just in case Santa's forced down with a low fog over Burbank?
All right. Scoff if you will. I'll drop over Christmas Eve, then maybe you'll sing a different tune. Goodbye, infidel.
That Remley, I don't know what to think about.
Phil, I called Don, but he can't make it. However, he said he has a lot of active friends, and he'll send one of them over. But he said we'd have to pay the actor $10.
So what? $10. It'll be worth it to make the kids happy. Hey, honey, did Don say he could get someone positively?
Yes, Phil. He said he was sure he'd get someone.
Gee, I sure hope so, because it's very important. Hey, if anything would go wrong, I don't know what I'd do.
Phil, please stop worrying. There's still 3 days till Christmas Eve, and if you keep this up, you'll drive yourself batty.
And for 3 days, Phil worried. Now, as we look in on the Harris home, it's Christmas Eve. Phil is downstairs trimming the tree and impatiently awaiting the arrival of Santa. Alice is upstairs, reassuring the children that he'll be there.
But, Mommy, it's 10 o'clock already and Santa isn't here yet. Gee, Mommy, do you think maybe he isn't coming?
Oh, don't fret, girls. Of course he's coming. So, you better watch out. You better not cry. You better not pout. I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town. He's making a list, checking it twice. Gonna find out who's naughty and nice. Santa Claus is coming to town. He sees you when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake. He knows if you've been bad or good, so be good for goodness sakes. Oh, you better watch out. You better not cry. Better not pout. I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town.
He'll be riding with his reindeer in a great big open sleigh with a great big bag of presents, and he'll give them all away.
He sees you when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake. He knows if you've been bad or good, so for goodness sake. Oh, you better watch out. You better not cry. Better not pout. I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town.
There. Well, that's the last ornament. Hey, looks pretty good. Now if Santa only shows up, what a
Phil, I was just upstairs with the children and... Oh, Phil, the tree looks beautiful.
Yeah. Hey, honey, how are the kids? Are they impatient?
Oh, they'll be all right.
Oh, Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas, Frankie.
Hey, Merry Christmas. Hey, Frankie, what do you got there?
Milk and crackers for Santa Claus. I put them on the mantle for him every year. Hey, where's the kids?
Oh, they're upstairs waiting for Santa.
Yeah, and I'm waiting, too. When is the guy going to show up? It's after 10 already.
Be patient, Curly. He's got a long trip from the North Pole. Besides, his reindeer ain't as young as they used to be in it.
Keep quiet. I'm paying the guy $10. You'd think he'd get here on time.
This subterfuge is all so unnecessary.
Hey, there's a door. That must be Santa now. I'll let him in.
I'll go with you, honey.
Okay. Well, Merry Christmas, Santa Claus. Merry Christmas, Santa Claus.
Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas, and where's my $10?
Jack?
Hey, Jackson, what are you doing here?
Well, Don Wilson happened to mention that you were paying $10 for a Santa Claus. I had an old pair of red flannels lying around.
Jackson, hey, since when do you have to go around playing Santa Claus for money?
Well, Phil, you don't begrudge me a guest shot once in a while, do you? After all, I only have one show, you know. Pick up a little late. Oh, hello, Frankie. Merry Christmas.
Oh, Merry Christmas me, you imposter, you. Ah, fine. Look at Santa Claus.
I think I make a very good-looking Santa Claus in my red suit with a pillow under it for a stomach.
I think you look ridiculous. Look at your costume. It's bagging at the knees.
That's my stomach. It keeps slipping.
Hey, Jackson, I want you to know it's sure nice of you to do this for us, but, well, hey, look. Frankie's right. You don't look exactly like Santa Claus. You sure don't. Look at that white beard. Where did you rent that moth-eating thing?
It's not rented. I was playing gin rummy with Monty Woolley, and I won it. Like me as Santa Claus, and I'll just
pay
run
no
along.
attention to these two, Jack. I think you make a wonderful Santa Claus at paying you. Phil, give Jack the $10.
Okay, here you are, Jackson.
Thanks.
Phyllis will get a kick out of this. I'll go call her. And, Jack, try to convince her you're really Santa Claus, huh?
Little Phyllis? Phil, I thought I was doing this for your benefit. If it's for little Phyllis, I wouldn't think of taking money.
No. It's always a deal.
Oh, please don't embarrass. But for the kid, I wouldn't think of taking the $10.
Well, if you insist.
$7.50 is plenty. What kind of a heel do you think I am? Now, Phil, look.
Sweet of you, Jackson, to play Santa Claus for my two kids.
Oh, two kids. Well, look, Phil, I can't take any money at all for this. Tell you what, if you want to, you can buy me a little something for Christmas.
Like what?
Anything that Alice can afford. I don't care.
Okay, look, Jackson, the kids will be down in a minute to see Santa, and it's very important that you make them think that you're the real McCoy. Now, do you think you can act the part?
Oh, I shouldn't have any trouble, Phil. You know, I have great histrionic ability.
Yeah, but you're such a lousy actor.
What?
This impersonation is preposterous. Santa Claus won't like this.
Come along, children. He's right in here. Well, there he is.
Gee, Santa Claus. Hello, Santa.
Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas and hello again. This is Santa Claus talking. Come here, children, and tell me how you like old Santa.
We like you fine, Santa. You're just like we pictured you. Yes, you're jolly and you have a nice fat tummy. But
what?
Well, isn't your tummy awful low?
Oh, that. That's the new look, kiddies. I'm wearing it 4 inches lower this year.
Well, kids, are you happy to see Santa? Gee, doesn't he look good?
He sure does, Daddy. He looks kind of old.
I am, little girl. After all, I'm Santa Claus. I've lived for hundreds and hundreds of years.
How old are you?
38. Well, old Santa has to be going now. Here are your toys, girls.
Thank you, Santa. Yeah, thanks.
Well, I'll be seeing you next year. Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night. Up, Dancer, up, Prancer, up, Donner, and Blitzen. Ho, 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 and away we go.
A big ham.
Well, children, what did you think of Santa Claus?
I liked him, but I was a little disappointed.
Why?
I expected him to take out his violin and play Love and Bloom.
You mean you kids knew it was Mr. Benny?
Sure, but we didn't want to say anything and hurt his feelings. Daddy, when is the real Santa coming?
Well, well, you see, honey, he'll be here soon, kids. Oh, Frankie. Listen, children, listen to me. Now, he has a lot to do, and he may be very late. So, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you a Christmas story, and then maybe you'll run off to bed, huh?
Well, all right, Daddy. But we wanted so much to see him.
All right, honey. Maybe next year. He's busy. Now, look, you sit up on my lap, and I'll tell you the story. You ready? It was the night before Christmas. And all through the house, not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care, in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there. The children were Hey, I thought I heard sleigh bells. No, I guess. The children were nestled all snug in their beds, while visions of sugar plums danced through their heads. Alice, what are those bells? What's the...
Shh. Quiet, Curly.
Phyllis, look, in the fireplace. It's Santa Claus, the real one.
But,
Merry Christmas, Santa.
Frankie, who are you talking to? I don't see anybody.
The kids do. Look at him.
Gee, Santa, we knew you'd come. They couldn't fool us with any make-believe Santa Claus. We were waiting just for you. Oh, sure. We've been very good girls. Oh, what a lovely dollhouse. Thank you. And all these things are for me? Can I open them now? All right, Santa, we'll wait till morning. Thank you very much. And a Merry Christmas to you too, Santa. Of course we'll tell them. Merry Christmas and goodbye, Santa Claus.
I told you he'd show up, Curly.
But, Frankie, I don't get it. I heard it, but I didn't see him.
Of course you didn't. He sure is a nice-looking old gent.
Alice, did you see him?
I'm not sure, Phil. I almost thought I saw him standing there.
But, Alice, how could it be? If he was standing there...
Phil, what are you staring at?
That spot on the rug there. Alice, it's snow.
Girls, you know about the new look in fashion. Well, there's a new look in hair beauty, too. Yes, women everywhere are achieving that look of softer, shinier hair with a marvelous new product, Fitch Cream Shampoo. This wonder-working shampoo is made with two beneficial beauty aids, lanolin and olive oil. Lanolin is used to soften the hair, to leave it smooth and caressable. Olive oil is used to bring out sparkling highlights, to accent the glowing radiance of your hair. Fitch Cream Shampoo is so easy to use. A small dab quickly whips into a fragrant, creamy lather that thoroughly cleanses hair and scalp. Then just rinse with plain water and every bubble of suds is gone. After shampooing, you'll find your hair stays in place. It stays soft. And it stays shining, as though it had been brushed and brushed and brushed. Fitch is economical, too. Compare the size of the jar. Compare its low cost. At drug or toilet goods counters, buy Fitch Cream Shampoo for that flattering new look of softer, shinier hair.
Children, kids, hey, come here a minute. Look, Santa said something to you, and you said, yes, we'll tell them. What did he say?
He told us to be sure and wish you and Mommy a Merry Christmas.
Now, wasn't that sweet of him? Now, girls, you're all tucked in. You've seen Santa, and you have everything you want. So go right to sleep. Good night.
Good night.
Good night, babies.
Daddy,
Yes, dear?
can I have a drink of water?
Go to sleep! This is Phil Harris. The F.W. Fitch Company, Alice and I, and our entire cast want to thank all of you so much for listening to our show and wish you the best Christmas you've ever had. Good night.
Laugh a while, let a song be your style. Use Fitch shampoo.
Girls, for softer, shinier hair, use Fitch's new cream shampoo. It's made with both lanolin and olive oil. Lanolin to soften, olive oil for sparkling highlights. Try Fitch cream shampoo. Bill Foreman speaking.
76 years, December 21st, 1947. The Fitch Bandwagon with Phil Harris and Alice Faye, and of course, Elliot Lewis as Remley. And maybe it gives us, these shows give us a little more insight as to Frankie Remley. Maybe it's not just that he drank too much. Maybe it's just that he never grew up. Alrighty, a couple of episodes of radio's outstanding theater of thrills, and one would not think that there would be Christmas shows in such a show as Suspense, but they did have them. We're going to hear the first one from 73 years ago, December 21st, 1950, Dennis Day stars. Next.
Civil defense is common sense. This is Howard Duff with this reminder. 640 and 1240. These are the Conelrad frequencies during a national emergency. 640 and 1240 on your regular radio will be your only official means of receiving vital information. Remember, 640 and 1240.
And now, remember, radio is your best source for news and information, particularly in times of trouble. Now, we go back to the first of two episodes of Suspense, this one from 73 years ago, December 21st, 1950. Dennis Day starring in Christmas for Carole.
Autolite and its 96,000 dealers present Suspense. Tonight, Autolite brings you Christmas for Carole, a suspense play starring Mr. Dennis Day.
Hey, Hap.
Well, hello, Santa. Why, it's Wilcox. Now, what are you doing in that costume, Harlow?
Going to a Christmas party, Hap.
Oh, what's in the sack?
Why, a load of merry motoring. In this box, I've got smoother performance, you see?
Ignition-engineered Autolite spark plugs.
Sure, and when you replace worn-out spark plugs with these new Bantam beauties, your car will perform smoother than Santa skidding down a slippery chimney.
And what's in this box, Harlow?
Fast starts, Hap.
Well, these are ignition-engineered Autolite spark plugs, too.
You bet. And they're unmatched for quick starts because they're designed by the same Autolite engineers who designed the coil, distributor, and all the other important parts of the complete ignition system for many leading makes of our finest cars. That's why ignition-engineered Autolite spark plugs work as a team with your car's ignition system. And that's why they're world-famous for quality and dependability.
And I suppose you're giving gas savings in the third box, eh, Harlow?
You guessed it, Hap. So, friends, have your Autolite spark plug dealer replace worn-out spark plugs with ignition-engineered Autolite spark plugs. Choose either the standard or resistor type. And remember, you're always right with Autolite.
And now, with Christmas for Carole and the performance of Dennis Day, Autolite hopes once again to keep you in suspense.
It was dark and silent. The window in the house glinted a little from the Christmas tree lights. Rocky didn't move. He just stood there in the alley, but I wanted to run. Fast, get away and put it behind me.
Just a second.
We got the money, Rocky. What are we hanging around for? Come on, let's get out of here.
I said we wait for the old couple to get back.
What for? Why take chances now?
We got some money. How do we know it's all of it? Maybe they split it and put it in two places. We'll wait here and watch for them when they come in. They'll tip it.
It was $8,000. That's what he withdrew.
You asked for this, kid. Now do as you're told. We'll wait.
couldn't help being scared. This was my first job, my first and last. I just wanted that money. I wanted it fast and short, and I wanted to run away from it and forget it. A one shot. That's why I got hold of Rocky Perea. Lucky. I had to be lucky just this once. For Carole, not for me. It was for Carole. Nothing else I cared about, see? Didn't seem possible now that 3 days ago I hadn't known Rocky, hadn't needed him. What is it, Doctor? How about the baby?
Your wife must remain in bed.
Serious?
No, not serious, but she's got to stay flat on her back. A nurse. You should have a nurse with her all the time.
Oh, but it's 2 months away, Doctor.
It's just a question of keeping her relaxed and quiet, not letting her do any work around the house, or lift things, or even walk.
Okay, Doctor. And she'll be all right?
There's one other thing. She was quite worried when I told her about the nurse. I got the feeling she's well afraid to have the baby.
Afraid?
Not for herself. I can't put my finger on it, but it's having a detrimental effect on her condition, and
I know what it is, Doctor. Money.
Oh, I see. Well, it might not be easy finding a nurse. Only 4 days till Christmas.
I'll get one, Doctor. Thanks.
I'll call you this evening.
Yeah. Thanks again, Doctor.
Paul?
Sweetheart, it'll be all right. I'm going to get the nurse to take care of you.
I'll be able to get up and around a day or two.
Not if you want that, son. The doc said everything will be all right if you take it easy, and you're going to take it easy.
But a nurse...
Look, I've got to get back to the bank. I'm only on my lunch hour, sweetheart. I'll make a few calls from there, and tonight we'll pick out the nurse.
How much do they charge?
What's the difference?
How much, Paul? It's a lot of money, I know.
50, 60 a week. We'll make out all right now. There's nothing to worry about.
Oh, Paul. This was going to be a happy Christmas now.
Yeah, a happy Christmas in this dump.
It's funny, Paul. $50 a week for a nurse. For another 2 months. It's funny. You make $48.50 at the bank. We'll have to pay the nurse more money than you earn.
Yeah, more money than I earn. You know how it is being a bank teller? Feeling, seeing, handling money, taking in money, paying it out. When I went back to work, I was seeing it for the first time with something more than a detached feeling. Thinking, I need this money, I need this money, I need this money. How I need this money. For Carole and the baby. It was almost 3 o'clock when Eddie the bookie came in.
Hi, Paul. Good day yesterday. And big action in a few days. Santa Need opens.
Yeah, people like to throw their money away.
They throw it, I catch it.
Eddie, could I see you later?
You ready to make a deal?
I want to talk to you.
What time you through?
5 o'clock.
Meet you outside at 5 o'clock.
Eddie Garth, bookie. He quit school in the 7th grade. I held out and went through college. And all these years he's tried to get me to go in with him. To run his office, do the bookwork. He was waiting for me when I finished work. We went to a coffee shop and sat down. And all around us the loudspeakers reminding me what a happy Christmas it was.
Hush, Carole, Paul.
Not so good, Eddie. That's what I want to talk to you about.
No more loans, Paul. You need money? Come with me.
Don't you ever give up.
What's so good at the bank? $25 for a Christmas bonus?
Look, Eddie.
Come in with me now. With Santa Need opening. I could work the outside, get new accounts.
Eddie.
And I'll give you 10% of those accounts, Paul. But I won't lend you the money. I'd be a sucker to lend it to you. I'll give it to you if you come in, but I won't lend you anymore.
Okay, Eddie. Forget it. I'll get it some other way.
I don't get it. What's wrong with my deal?
Look, Eddie, how many times have you been rousted by the Vice Squad?
Plenty. Well,
and every time they book you and they fingerprint you and take your picture.
So what? They never have anything on me.
It's on your record, Eddie, as long as you live. Sure, I need money. Maybe I'm getting close to the time when I'm not too choosy about the way I get it. But it won't be your way.
What are you talking about?
If I ever break the law, it's going to be with the right guy and it's going to be the right job.
Now, you're dreaming, Paul. You'll still be in that cage 10 years from now.
I'd hit and run. One job with enough out of it to make it worthwhile. That's the way to be, Eddie. A one shot.
There is no such thing, Paul. You do something like that, you're stuck in it. And you're worse off than if you came with me. Think about it, Paul.
Go home then and fix dinner for Carole. All the time thinking of the money and Carole and the baby and debts. the worry eating at me and thinking about what I'd said to Eddie. Then the next morning, old man Forbes made a withdrawal. The first he'd ever made.
Hiya, son.
What? Oh, hello, Mr. Forbes.
I'm going to miss you, son. Seems like we're good friends after all these years.
Miss me?
Take a look at the slip.
That's a lot of money.
12 years hard work. That's what that money means.
But you're taking it all out?
Yeah. And I quit my job today.
Quit your job?
Ada and me, we've been waiting a long time for this Christmas. We're moving out of the city.
Oh?
And we've had our eye on a little farm. Now we can buy it. Even got the papers drawn up.
Then you're leaving right away?
About a week. But Ada don't know yet. I'm going to surprise her. Kind of a Christmas present.
But it's not safe to keep so much cash on you, especially
I got a perfect place to hide it, son. No one would think to look there. Besides, I figure I've worked too hard and too long to lose it now. Oh, no, son, it wouldn't happen. It wouldn't seem right somehow.
It stayed with me and it grew. Like a wheel spinning, gaining momentum. This could be the right job. $8,000, enough for that single shot. It stayed with me. All the time growing.
Yeah, lunch is on me, Paul. If you change your mind.
No, I called you, Eddie, because I need your help.
What kind of help?
Well, you can arrange for me to talk to someone.
Maybe. Who is it?
Rocky Perea.
Rocky Perea? Are you kidding? You picked yourself the right guy, all right. The cops don't even know what he looks like. They never mugged him or printed him.
Yes, Eddie, that's right.
You're crazy, I tell you. 1 million people want to talk to Rocky Perea, including the cops. No, Paul, I can't touch it.
You can, Eddie, if you want to bad enough. Please, Eddie.
All right. I'll see what I can do. Maybe I do know someone.
And, Eddie, it's got to be soon.
You know you'll be taking a chance. It better be good.
It is, Eddie. Good enough to take the chance for. That was 2 days ago. And this morning, Eddie came through. A certain friend, Rocky's only outside contact, told him to keep an eye on a house on Hoover Street. Eddie gave me all the dope. What Rocky looked like, how he'd act, what to expect. And early this evening, I told Carole I was going out for a while, that I'd borrow the money from Eddie, and we wouldn't have to worry about paying it back for a while. That's what I told her, but that wasn't the answer. The answer was at the house on Hoover with Rocky Perea. I waited there, hidden in the dark corner behind the incinerator. I kept thinking, making excuses. It wasn't up to me anymore. There wasn't any other choice. I needed money desperately. I needed help to get the money. I waited more than an hour. And then I heard footsteps come up the alley. He stopped before the open patch of light. Just like Eddie told me. He was careful, very careful, making sure no one was staking him. I took a deep breath and hitched my weight forward. I was going to cut across the open for the back door. I remember thinking, now, do it for Carole, for the rotten, miserable Christmas. Do it now. Rocky! He froze for a split second, and almost faster than I could see, he ducked into a shadow and spun around. The street light didn't touch him. It glinted on something metallic in his hand, and even from where I was standing, I could see he had a gun pointed at me.
Autolite is bringing you Mr. Dennis Day in Christmas for Carole. Tonight's production in radio's outstanding theater of thrills, Suspense.
Say, Hap, are you going to the in-laws for Christmas?
Yes, Harlow.
Oh, it's rough.
No, they're okay.
Oh, I mean rough trip, unless you've replaced worn-out spark plugs with ignition-engineered Autolite spark plugs. They give your car sensationally smooth performance.
I've heard of them, Harlow.
Well, then you must know that they're designed by the same Autolite engineers who design complete ignition systems, used as original factory equipment on many leading makes of our finest cars. That's why ignition-engineered Autolite spark plugs work perfectly with your car's complete ignition system.
The folks really treat us right.
You mean the Autolite spark plug dealers, eh, Hap? Well, they'll replace worn-out spark plugs with ignition-engineered Autolite spark plugs for smoother performance, quick starts, gas savings.
After we visit them, we always find...
Find what, Hap?
That you're always right with Autolite, Harlow.
And now, Autolite brings back to our Hollywood soundstage Mr. Dennis Day in Elliot Lewis's production of Christmas for Carole, a tale well calculated to keep you in suspense.
Rocky, don't shoot. It was a good thing I'd said it. His gun was aiming front and center. He crouched there looking at me, his eyes flat and hard, then his voice deep and tight and deadly.
Who are you?
I'm not a cop, Rocky.
Come close so I can see you better.
Sure, Rocky. I just want to talk to you.
You call me Rocky. You been talking to anyone?
I've been watching you. I know you're Rocky Perea.
You've been watching me? What for?
You're wanted, Rocky, and you need money.
Who are you? Where'd you come from?
But that doesn't matter, Rocky. This is a business deal. I figured it out very carefully. You need money, well, so do I. And I got a way to get it.
Just like that, eh?
And, Rocky, I'm not staying. This is a one-shot deal.
A one-shot? There's no such thing.
That's the way it's got to be. We do this job together and we're through. We never see each other again.
I sure ain't gonna go looking for you. But you won't quit. Not if it comes off easy.
I'll quit, Rocky.
What's in this for me?
Half. $4,000.
Huh. Well, kid, you ain't dumb by any means, staking me out like this. Almost smart enough to be a copper. You got guts, too. Tell me, you got a family?
There's no one to stop me. I have a job that doesn't pay enough. This'll raise my salary.
You want this one haul, then it's back to your job, eh?
Yeah. Is it a deal?
What's the job?
I have a car. I'll tell you on the way. If you go for it, okay. If not, we forget the whole thing.
Okay, kid. I'll listen to it. Let's go driving.
I told him what I'd planned and why I needed him, and he agreed to come with me. We drove to the Forbes' house. It was a small and old house, just big enough for the two of them. I drove down to the corner and parked, and we started back.
Lucky there's no one on the street. Let's go up the alley.
Yeah, Rocky. There's the back door. Look, no lights. They're not home.
That makes it a cinch. Okay, go on, check it. It's your baby.
Rocky, I'll have to break a window.
Yeah. You want me to hold your hand?
I'll wrap my jacket around my fist. That'll keep the noise down.
Why don't you write me a book?
Okay, I'm going. I was lucky. The side of the house was hidden from the street by a big tree. There was light to see with from the Christmas tree in the living room. I wrapped the jacket around my knuckles, and when the short, sharp jab broke through the window. It sounded like a cannon. The street being so quiet before, I was scared it would rouse the whole neighborhood. But like I said, I was lucky. I scrambled up the sill and dropped into the living room. I was pretty clumsy. I pulled out drawers, looked behind pictures, under cushions. I went in the kitchen and poked around the cabinets. I looked in the cookie jar, and I found a rolled-up wad of bills. It was money, all right, but only $40. The old lady's secret treasure. I put it back and went into the living room again. Looking around, nervous, I stumbled on the Christmas tree and knocked it over. And then I remembered what the old man had said. A Christmas present for his wife. And I knew it was somewhere on that tree. There were Christmas stockings and favors and little red boots in and around the tinsel and the lighted bulbs. And I found the $8,000 hidden deep in one of the stockings. Got it, Rocky.
Let me see it.
It's there, Rocky. It's all there.
Yeah, $8,000. I guess I'll hold it.
Come on, let's go.
Take it easy. We're going to stick around for a while.
Stick around? What for?
Well, we got some money. How do we know it's all of it? Maybe they split it and put it in two places. We'll wait here and watch when they come in. They'll tip it.
It was $8,000. That's what he withdrew.
You asked for this, kid. Now do as you're told. We'll wait.
I couldn't help being scared. My first job. My first and last. A one-shot. I wanted to get away fast, run, and put it behind me. But Rocky just stood there, like he didn't have a worry in the world.
Listen, kid. They're ringing for us. They're wishing us a Merry Christmas. Wait. There they are. They're unlocking the door.
You know, Harvey, the Christmas services were so beautiful.
Sure were. This year in particular.
Harvey, look, the tree. Someone's been in here. A burglar.
Burglar?
Oh, my cookie jar. I've got my house money hidden there.
The old lady ran to the kitchen, but Forbes knew where to look, and he knew it was gone. Rocky was grinning. His face lit up like floodlights. Let's go, Rocky. We've seen enough.
No, hold on a minute.
It's all here, Harvey. I wonder what he was after.
Ada, it's gone. All the money.
All what money?
$8,000. I took it all out of the bank. Ada, I quit my job. It was going to be a surprise.
No.
Every penny we had in the world.
Oh, Harvey. All that money.
No. It'll be all right, Ada.
Oh, 12 years you worked so we could have something.
Well, I can keep on working, Ada. I'll do it all over again.
Oh, you can't work anymore, the doctor. Oh, what's a person to believe? You work so hard and we do without things for 12 long years, and for what? In 1 minute, some good-for-nothing hoodlum takes it all away from us.
I looked at Rocky standing there next to me, his face split by that grin. It was funny to him, something to laugh about, to gloat over. That's why he'd stayed. Suddenly I knew I couldn't go through with it. Me, the guy who needed the money so bad, the guy with the bright one-shot idea.
Quite a show, eh, kid? Come on, let's go.
He moved off a few steps, but I just stood there, knowing what I was going to do.
Come on, I said, let's go.
Knowing what I was going to do. No, Rocky, we're not going.
Huh?
I said we're not going, and neither is the money.
What's that?
Don't, Rocky. I've got a gun, too.
And what's got into you?
I'm going to give that money back, Rocky. I can't stomach this.
Give it back. You're crazy.
No, Rocky, I just didn't see deep enough. Old people like this.
This was your idea. I ain't responsible for it.
I know, Rocky, but I can make it right.
Suppose I don't give you the money.
Then I'll kill you, Rocky.
Okay, kid. You got the gun.
He gave me the money, all the hate showing in his eyes. I turned, started for the house. I gave him my back for a target. But he didn't use it. I knocked on the door.
Yes, who? Paul, from the bank.
I just had a fight with a guy, Mr. Forbes. Saw him jump from your window. I chased after him.
Our window? You saw him?
Yes, ma'am. I was walking past. I kind of figured he'd just finished robbing you.
Well, did you catch him?
Well, I couldn't hold on to him. He broke away, but not before I got this.
Why, Harvey, the money.
Yes.
Paul, bless you.
Oh, forget it. I'm only sorry I couldn't hold him.
You say you fought with this burglar?
Yes, he broke away before...
We want to thank you, Paul.
Forget it. I'll be going now.
Oh, wait, Paul, we want to give you a reward.
Oh, no, I don't want a reward. I'll have to be going. I stopped there on the porch for a minute, afraid to go back to Rocky. Suddenly terribly afraid of what he'd do to me. The old couple was still talking, loud, like old people do.
Yes, it all happened so fast.
I'll always wonder about that boy. What made him bring the money back?
He's honest, Ada. I know him from the bank.
Oh, fiddlesticks, Harvey. He didn't fight with anyone.
What do you mean, Ada?
Well, his clothes, by the whole story he told us, your young friend took the money in the first place.
Why, Ada, I believe you're right.
Of course I'm right. Now, what on earth made him change his mind like that?
It's Christmas, Ada. Merry Christmas.
She'd known. The old lady had known all along. And it didn't make any difference. She'd even offered to give me a reward. Suddenly I felt something strange, like being clean inside. Like being able to see something that wasn't there before. And the tightness, the fear eased a little.
Now, let's go, kid. The car.
Rocky.
You did what you wanted. You just forgot that half of that money was mine. Now move. Get it moving. What was it you said? You need me, Rocky. You're hot.
Rocky, I made a mistake.
I want to team up with you, Rocky. You need money. I got away.
I was wrong.
Maybe the next job you won't get soft in the head.
There's not going to be a next one, Rocky. I'm through.
Through? You think I spent Christmas Eve with you because I like you? I'm out $4,000.
I'm sorry, Rocky, but there's not going to be a next time.
You think so, huh? Stop the car.
All right. But I'll never see it different, Rocky. I found out tonight. If it's not these old people, then it's someone else taking it just as hard.
You sure? You sure it's not Christmas doing this?
I'm sure. It's not for me, Rocky.
Huh. You know, I'm kind of glad it turned out this way.
You what?
Well, you're through, ain't you? You're going back to your job.
Yeah, Rocky, sure.
Good. And I figured it right.
What?
I didn't think you'd go through with it.
Say, wait a minute.
Yeah?
You're not Rocky Perea.
I said you were a smart kid.
But the way you acted, so careful, sneaking in the alley and... Say, who are you?
Weissman's the name. Police Lieutenant Richard Weissman, Gangster Squad.
You're a cop? But where's Rocky?
We picked him up this afternoon, kid. He had a couple of guys working with him, and I thought maybe you were one of them. Now I know different.
Cop.
I don't expect I'll run into you again, kid. So take care of yourself. And Merry Christmas.
Lucky. All the breaks. But I was no better off than this morning. There was still money, 2 months paying the nurse. There was still the worry for Carole.
Oh, Mr. Shane, we've been expecting you. Congratulations.
Doctor, what's the matter? Why?
Oh, nothing's wrong. Quite the contrary. Your wife just had a baby.
Baby? Carole?
Oh, she's perfectly all right. So is your daughter.
Carole. Oh, Carole, darling. Are you all right?
Hello, sweetheart. I'm fine.
Carole, is...
We won't have to borrow the money now, Paul. It's turned out for the best after all.
Oh, darling.
And it always will, my dear. We have so much, you and I. We have each other. And now we've got a daughter. A fine, healthy little girl. The rest will come, Paul. Let's live the day we have. Your little girl's over there, Paul. Tell her we're very, very happy she's in the family. And wish her a Merry Christmas.
The first Noel, the angel did say, was to certain poor shepherds in fields as they lay, in fields where they lay heaving their sheep on a cold winter's night that was so deep. Look, Carole, look. She's smiling.
Suspense, presented by Autolite. Tonight's star, Mr. Dennis Day.
Santa visits girls and boys after they've been good, but Autolite keeps cars and trucks performing as they should.
Next week on Suspense, Mr. Cornell Wilde, a star of A Ring for Maria. And in weeks to come, you will hear such famous stars as Mickey Rooney, Ginger Rogers, Eve Arden, and Ezio Pinza. all appearing in tales well calculated to keep you in suspense.
Suspense is produced and directed by Elliott Lewis, with music composed by Lucien Moraweck and conducted by Lud Gluskin. Christmas for Carole was written for Suspense by David Friedman. Dennis Day appears through arrangement with Colgate-Palmolive Peat Company and may be heard on his own program, A Day in the Life of Dennis Day.
And remember, next week on Suspense, Mr. Cornell Wilde in A Ring for Maria.
One of the benefits of getting Dennis Day around is that maybe you can coax him into singing, and that's what they did. 73 years ago, December 21st, 1950, Suspense here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Our Suspense doubleheader continues with an episode from 8 years later, December 21st, 1958, starring Perry Mason. Well, not really, but really.
In case of enemy attack or grave national emergency, keep listening to your radio. The emergency broadcast system will immediately bring you official information and instructions. Stations will not give call letters, but will identify the area they're serving. So dial around till you find the right one in your area, and then follow the instructions given.
Now back to Classic Radio Theater. Tomorrow on our program, we will have the Good News of 1939, their Christmas show. We'll also have an episode of Stars Over Hollywood and A Christmas Carol. We'll also have Dragnet, The Big Little Jesus, an episode of Rocky Fortune and the Plot to Murder Santa Claus, and an episode of Blum and Abner, where Mousy decides he's had enough. We'll hear that tomorrow here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. But right now, Suspense. And I mentioned before the break that, it'd be Perry Mason. Well, not really. Raymond Burr stars in an episode entitled Out for Christmas, where he plays an ex-con. This is from 65 years ago, December 21st, 1958.
Suspense. And the producer of radio's outstanding theater of thrills, the master of mystery and adventure, William N. Robeson.
We who are in the business of keeping you in suspense find ourselves in a quandary at this time of the year. The elements of suspense, murder, mayhem, and macabre mischief are awkwardly out of place at this festival of peace and love. Yet that first Christmas was full of suspense. There was the problem of lodgings for the delicate mother that chill evening when there was no room at the inn. And there was great mystery when suddenly the star appeared in the east. Finally, there was the magnificent climax and happy ending when the three kings of the Orient arrived at last bearing gifts of gold and frankincense and myrrh. We feel that we cannot improve upon this tale, so we will bring you another, along with our best wishes for a most Merry Christmas. Listen then as Mr. Raymond Burr stars in Out for Christmas, which begins in just a moment.
Here's actress Joan Bennett.
It's terrible to try to act with a dreadful cold. To feel better quickly, I take 4-way cold tablets, the fast way to relieve nasty cold distress.
Yes, tests of 4 leading cold tablets proved 4-way fastest acting of all. Amazing 4-way starts in minutes to relieve aches, pains, headache, reduce fever, calm upset stomach, also overcomes irregularity.
When you catch cold, try my way. Take 4-way cold tablets, the fast way to relieve cold distress.
4-way, 29 and 59 cents.
Here's a word about another fine product of Grove Laboratories. Had dandruff for years? Now get rid of it in 3 minutes with Fitch Dandruff Remover Shampoo. 3 minutes with Fitch regularly is guaranteed to keep unsightly dandruff away forever. Apply Fitch before wetting hair. Rub in 1 minute. Add water. Lather 1 minute. Then rinse 1 minute. Every trace of dandruff goes down the drain. 3 minutes with Fitch. Embarrassing dandruff's gone. Fitch can also leave hair up to 35% brighter. Get Fitch Dandruff Remover Shampoo today.
And now, Out for Christmas, starring Mr. Raymond Burr, a tale well calculated to keep you in suspense.
I hadn't figured on being out for Christmas, but my prison record paid off.
Takes a lot of good behavior to knock time off and an armed robbery and assault rap, but I was a good boy, model prisoner. Took everything they threw at me with a... No, not exactly with a smile. I don't smile much. But I took it without griping. So I'm out for Christmas. And Christmas is as good a time as any for what I gotta do. The town looked cruddy. They got phony tin Christmas trees and the lampposts along the main drag and colored lights all over the joint and Christmas carols screeching at you from loudspeakers everywhere. Even the saloons got red and green streamers all over the place and the bar mirrors all frosted like snow. The big bowl of slop called Tom and Jerry they're pushing.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
What'll it be? A little Christmas cheer? A hot Tom and Jerry, maybe?
Ain't you got any whiskey?
Oh, sure. We got whiskey.
Give me a straight shot.
Okay.
Can't you get anything on that jukebox but them Christmas carols?
What's the matter? Don't you like carols?
No, they stink.
You won't think so after you get a couple of belts under your belt.
You think so?
Sure. It's Christmas, man.
Yeah, so I heard. That tastes good. Real good.
Say, you look sort of familiar. Don't I know you from someplace?
I was wondering how long it'd take.
Yeah, the voice is familiar, and your eyes sort of...
Joe what?
Joe, I heard you was going to get out soon. Charlie Jones told me. But I didn't know you'd be out for Christmas.
Yeah, they got big-hearted.
Say, you put on a little weight. Yeah, that's why I didn't recognize you.
30 pounds, prison child.
But you look real good, Joe, real good.
Yeah. Hey, where is Charlie? He been in tonight?
Not yet, but he'll be around probably.
Gotta see him. You know where he's living at?
Yeah, he's got a room over on 4th Street.
Room? I figured he'd be living in a flop house.
Oh, not Charlie. He's doing okay since he got out. Got a steady job. How about you, Joe? You got a job lined up?
Yeah, I got a job lined up.
A good job?
It'll be good. As good as I can make it.
Has the last-minute shopping really got you down? Are you dashing and prancing all over the town? You bought a lot of presents and you still have lots to go? Well,
Go, 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 get a Scripto.
you don't have to know a size. You don't worry about the fit. A new Scripto pen or pencil always makes a hit. For Mom or Dad or Sister, Aunt Jane or Uncle Joe.
Go, 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 get a Scripto. Go, 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 get a Scripto. Get a Scripto.
Here's the easy, convenient way to finish all your Christmas shopping in a matter of minutes with Scripto pens and pencils, available at stores everywhere. All Scriptos, costing $1 or more, are handsomely gift-boxed. See the famous Scripto Satellite. The Satellite outwrites any other pen you've ever used. Costs only $1.95. Enjoy one-stop gift shopping.
Go, 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 get a Scripto.
Give a Scripto.
Scripto.
And now, starring Mr. Raymond Burr, Act 2 of Out for Christmas.
They even had this rooming house where Charlie was staying, loused up for Christmas. There was a moth-eating poinsettia in the door and red and green lights in the landlady's window. Charlie's room was on the 4th floor at the back.
Joe!
Yeah.
Oh, so they let you out for Christmas.
Yeah.
Well, come on in. Gee, it's good to see you, Joe.
Good to see you, Charlie. Say, what you got there?
Oh, that's an electric train. Just a minute, I'll turn it off.
Electric train, what for?
Oh, my sister's kid. That's all he talks about for Christmas, an electric train. So I got him one at a discount at the place where I work, but I wanted to see if it works okay. You know how it is.
Yeah. So what's the idea of the Christmas tree?
Well, living by myself and all, I thought I'd have my own tree. It's just a little one.
You lost your marbles?
Well, it's Christmas, Joe.
The guys in cell block 4 ought to see you now playing with electric trains into your own Christmas tree.
And I bet they'd like to be doing the same thing.
Not me. Did you check up on Malloy like I asked you to?
Yeah? Yes, he's still on the police force.
Good. You got a gun?
No, I don't have no use for guns anymore.
Know where I can get one?
Well, sure, I guess I could locate one.
Well, I told you to. In my last letter, I told you. Get a gun for me, I said.
I know, Joe, but look, pal, I thought that... Well, I hope maybe you'd change your mind.
Charlie, from the day he testified against me, I swore I'd get him. His testimony did it, you know. That's what convicted me. He sent me up.
He had to testify the way he did.
He didn't have to be so convincing.
But, Joe, what good'll it do? You'll only get the chair.
I'm not afraid of the chair. I've seen enough of life. It stinks. I ain't in love with it. I just as soon leave it so long as I take that rat with me.
But it ain't only him, Joe.
What do you mean?
He's married now.
You kidding? What kind of a dizzy broad would want him?
You ain't gonna like this, Joe.
Ain't gonna like what?
The dizzy broad that married him is Lucille.
Lucille? My Lucille.
That's right. I'm sorry, Joe.
Funny. It's real funny. She wrote me. She couldn't wait for me no longer. You remember when I got the letter.
I remember.
But she didn't say who it was. She never answered my letters after that. Oh, that lousy double cross.
Well, you went up for 10 to 20, Joe.
Yeah, I guess she never counted on me making it an 8 and time off for good behavior.
But 8 years is a long time for a young girl to wait, Joe.
Mike Malloy's a fine guy to throw me over for. Well, makes it dandy. Double dandy. It'll be a pleasure to kill them both.
Oh, how can you talk that way, Joe? It's Christmas.
Christmas is for people who don't know no better. Kids and idiots.
Oh, Joe, listen to me now. Forget all about Malloy and Lucille. You got a chance to make a new life for yourself. Like I'm doing. I can get you a job where I'm working. I'm sure I can.
What are you doing?
I'm Santa Claus in the toy department at Brighton's department store.
Ain't no future in that. You're going to be out of work day after tomorrow.
No, I'm not. They promised to keep me on.
Doing what? Minding a reindeer?
Well, Mr. Brighton believes in giving guys like us a chance. Now, that's why I'm sure that you can get a job there. You come down tomorrow and talk to him.
I'll talk to him after Christmas.
Hey, good. Oh, say, how about coming over to my sister's house for Christmas dinner day after tomorrow?
Yeah, I might even do that.
Good. You see, Joe, there ain't no sense in carrying around hatred in your heart, especially at Christmas time. So let Malloy and Lucille have their Christmas in peace.
Oh, they'll have their Christmas all right. Their last Christmas.
But then it'll be your last one, too.
I just got to figure different. Never mind the gun. I'll get my own gun tomorrow. But there is one thing I want from you.
What's that, Joe?
Tomorrow night, I want to borrow your Santa Claus suit.
Holiday hustle make you queasy, stomach nervous and uneasy? Then...
Do you know about the little white tablets in the little green pocket roll? Just a-waiting for the moment when you need 'em to bring your acid indigestion under control. Tums are the little white tablets in the little green pocket roll. Tums for the tummy. T-U-M-S. Bring relief quicker than you'd ever guess. Best for any kind of acid distress. Keep 'em handy in the pocket roll. Keep your tummy under Tums control.
Yes, during the busy, bustling season, get quick relief from annoying acid indigestion. Always carry Tums, 10 cents. 3-roll pack, a quarter. Or get the new 6-roll pack with free metal carrier, 49 cents.
And now, starring Mr. Raymond Burr, Act 3 of Out for Christmas.
Next day, I did my Christmas shopping for a gun. That night, I wrapped Charlie's Santa Claus suit into a bundle, took a bus out to the subdivision where Malloy and Lucille had a house. I ducked into an alley behind the supermarket and pulled on the red suit, whiskers and all. It was going to be so easy I had to laugh. It couldn't want a better disguise on Christmas Eve for murder. I didn't have any trouble finding the house, little box of a house like all the others in the street and decorated with colored lights like all the others. Nobody saw me, even if they had. Who has a better right than Santa Claus to be on the streets Christmas Eve? The gun felt cold in my pocket as I closed my fist around it and pushed the bell. Even it was wired for Christmas.
Yes?
Merry Christmas.
Why, it's Santa Claus.
Aren't you going to ask me in?
Well, my husband isn't home yet.
That's all right. I'll come in and wait for him.
I don't understand.
You don't believe in Santa Claus anymore, Lucille? You ought to.
Who are you?
Don't you recognize my voice?
You sound like...
Joe?
Oh, no.
Good old Joe. He was going to wait for me, no matter how long it took.
Joe, I thought you were...
In the cooler for keeps? I told you I'd come back for you. Here I am.
Well, you're too late, Joe.
Yeah, so I hear. How come you didn't wait, Lucille?
I fell in love.
With the guy who sent me to prison for a no-good cop?
He didn't send you to prison, Joe. You were guilty.
I'd have beat the rap if he hadn't testified the way he did.
He had to testify that way. He was only telling the truth.
Yeah, so you could get me out of the way and steal my girl.
Joe, you've got things all twisted. It all happened afterwards. I only met him at your trial. We fell in love afterwards.
When I couldn't protect myself.
Oh, Joe, I'm sorry. It just happened.
You're telling me. Where's the fuzz?
Who?
The copper, your old man.
He's still on duty.
Working overtime to put the arm on some stiff on Christmas Eve. When will he be home?
I expect him any time now.
Good. I'm going to be glad to see him.
Why, when you hate him so?
Well, you see, I promised him something. Didn't he ever tell you?
No.
I promised to kill him when I got out.
Joe.
Tonight's the night, see?
What do you mean? You've got a gun.
Sure, I got a gun. And I'm going to use it. On both of you.
Both of us?
You both double-crossed me. I could kill you first, but I think I'll wait till your old man comes home. Ought to be interesting to see how he acts. I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if he tried to make a deal with me.
A deal?
Yeah, like shoot my wife but let me go free.
Joe, what a terrible thing to say.
You'll see what kind of a creep you married.
Joe, do it then. But do it because I ask you. Kill me and let him go.
I come to get you both. And I'm going to get you both. Together. How about some music while we're waiting? Turn on the radio. Go on, turn it on. He made you happy, Lucy?
Yeah, Joe. Very.
You made him happy?
I hope so.
That's nice. Because tonight you're both going to make me happy. By becoming very dead.
It's too loud.
What's that?
Oh, little Lucy, the radio woke her.
You got kids?
Yeah.
Where you going?
I had to look in on her and quiet her.
Don't try nothing funny. I'll be right behind you.
Oh, there now, honey. There. It's all right. Mommy just turned the radio on too loud. I'm
scared, Mommy. Mommy! Look behind you. It's Santa Claus.
Yes, dear. Santa Claus.
Oh, Mikey! Mikey, wake up! Huh? Mikey, look, it's Santa Claus. Santa Claus? Santa Claus? I want to see Santa Claus.
Of all leading filters, cigarettes, Kent filters best. Kent filters best. It makes good sense When you smoke Kent filters best. Of all other brands of cigarettes, Kent tastes the best. Kent tastes the best. A richer taste than all the rest. Kent filters best. It makes good sense when you smoke Kent. Of all leading filter cigarettes, Kent filters best.
And now, starring Mr. Raymond Burr, Act 4 of Out for Christmas.
Just had time to jam the gun back into my pocket before those two kids were wide awake and all over me, grabbing at my red suit, pulling at my phony whiskers, pushing me into a
Did you
chair.
bring me a present, Santa Claus, did you? Oh, your reindeer, Santa. Sit down, Mikey. I don't want to sit on his lap.
See what's get rid of these kids.
I can't. Where's my present, Santa?
Well,
What did you do with the reindeers? What did you do with the reindeers?
Well, they're parked outside, Mikey, on the roof.
Did you come down the chimney?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Why aren't you close to it? Didn't the fire burn you?
Well, no, you see, it's an asbestos suit. Now, listen, you kids ought to go back to bed.
Oh, no, Santa, please. We want our presents. I want to see the reindeer.
See, you gotta get them off me.
They're so excited, Joe. They've never entertained Santa Claus before.
I ain't no Santa Claus.
To them you are.
Yeah.
Santa Claus,
What?
I want to kiss you. Me too.
All right, you kids. Now, listen to me.
Yes, Santa Claus, I'm listening. Me too.
You've gotta go back to bed now.
Well, I want my presents. Me too.
You'll get your presents in the morning when you wake up. They'll be under the tree.
You promise?
I promise. Now, you run off to bed. On account, I gotta get going. Now, you wouldn't want the other boys and girls to miss their presents because I've been goofing off with you, would you?
Oh, no, that wouldn't be fair.
All right, then. Off to bed you go.
All right. Come on, Mikey. Merry Christmas, Santa Claus. Me too.
Yeah. Merry Christmas, kids. And good night.
Good night. Come on, Mikey.
Oh, Joe. They'll never forget that.
Yeah, well, I...
Merry Christmas, honey. I'm sorry I'm late. Hey, what's this?
It's Joe Watson, Mike.
Joe Watson? What the devil are you doing here?
He came to kill us.
What?
Take it easy, Mike. Here's my gun.
You changed your mind?
Your kids changed my mind.
They thought he was really Santa Claus, darling. They were so excited.
Mike, you can send me up again. Better to go back for a parole violation, I guess, than for murder.
Well, wait a minute. We gotta have a complaining witness. You want to make a complaint, Lucille?
No, Mike. I want to thank Joe for giving the kids the best Christmas of their lives.
Well, I haven't any complaint then. Merry Christmas, Joe.
I still say Christmas is for people who don't know no better. Like kids and idiots. Yeah. Merry Christmas.
Suspense, in which Raymond Burr starred in Out for Christmas, written, produced, and directed by William N. Robeson. In just a moment, the names of the supporting players and a word about next week's story of Suspense.
Christmas Eve on CBS Radio, Bing Crosby invites you to celebrate Christmas with the world on our 4th annual Christmas Sing with Bing. With Bing as your guide and CBS Radio as your magic carpet, you'll visit Rome to hear the Vatican choir. There, too, you'll hear the sound of the bells of St. Peter's as they ring for the holiday Mass. On our Christmas Sing with Bing, you'll visit New York and Salt Lake City, Canada, Australia, Holland, France, even places like Hawaii, Alaska, and the Fiji Islands, where carolers and choirs will be waiting to sing the traditional Christmas songs with you. To add to the excitement this year, Mrs. Bing Crosby, Catherine Grant, will be at her husband's side. Whether you spend Christmas Eve at home or out on the highway heading for a holiday destination, join us right here on CBS Radio, as most of these same stations present our 4th annual Christmas Sing with Bing.
Supporting Raymond Burr in Out for Christmas were Joan Banks, Lillian Baeff, Charles Seal, Carl Swenson, Howard McNear, and Dick Beals. Listen. Listen again next week when we return with Mr. Frank Lovejoy, starring in The 32nd of December. Another tale well calculated to keep you in suspense. This is the CBS Radio Network.
I enjoy that Frank Lovejoy show. Plus, it stars his wife as well. And hopefully, well, we'll try to have that for you next week here. Suspense, 65 years ago, December 21st, 1958, here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Tomorrow, as I said, good news of 1939. Stars over Hollywood, Edmund Gwynn starring as Scrooge in A Christmas Carol. Also, Dragnet, The Big Little Jesus, The Plot to Murder Santa Claus with Frank Sinatra as Rocky Fortune, and Lum and Abner. And speaking of Lum and Abner, we'll hear them coming up next as they're in a quandary over Christmas gifts. That's next.
Civil defense is common sense. This is Joni James. After nuclear attack, radioactive fallout will be a potential threat to every living thing. You can't hear or smell or taste fallout. Often you can't see it, so you must take shelter and stay there until told it's safe to leave.
Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, we go back 79 years to December 21st, 1944. As it's Christmas, of course, in the Jot 'em Down store, and Lum is trying to drop some hints. Shall we listen to this episode of Lum and Abner?
Granny's, Abner, I believe that's our ring.
I dog is Lum, I believe you're right.
I'll see. Hello, Jot 'em Down store. This is Lum and Abner.
And now, let's see what's going on down in Pine Ridge. Well, as Christmas draws near, the old fellows are forced to pay less attention to their outside activities and confine their efforts to handling their Yuletide trade. As we look in on the little community today, we find Lum in the Jot 'em Down store and library doing a little Christmas business over the phone with Ed Beckley at the drugstore. Listen.
Yeah, well, we're having quite a Christmas rush out here, too, Ed. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we've run plumb out of silver tinsels. Well, say, what I called up about, Ed, is this. I seen some leather desk sets down in your store window, and I was just thinking, in case Abner might happen to come in there looking for a Christmas present for me, I wished you'd sort of suggest one of them sets. Yeah. Well, I sort of favor that biggest one with the red trimming on the leather there. Yeah, that's right. That 749 one. Say, you couldn't have my initials put on that, could you, Ed? Costs extra, huh? Well, you might suggest it to Abner anyway. And if you do put my initials on there, I wish you'd use them fancy curly letters. Yeah. Well, I'll surely appreciate it if you hint around to him about this. Yeah, it will make a nice present. Leastways, it'll be a heap better than a necktie rack. Yeah, that's what he give me for the last 4 years hand running. Yeah, I've got my necktie hanging on one of them. Never have figured out what to do with the other 3. Oh, yeah. Yeah, he means well and all that, but you know, if... Oh, there he comes back from the deliverers, Ed. I better hang up. And whatever you do now, don't tell him I called you about this. No.
Jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle...
Yeah, well, much obliged to you.
Excuse me,
See you later. So long.
Who was that?
Oh, just a grocery order, I think.
Oh.
Say, Abner, have you done all your Christmas shopping yet?
Oh, Lord, me, no. Don't look like I'm going to get time to do it neither. All them delivered, I see you got put up there whilst I was out that last batch.
Yeah, they've been coming in pretty thick and fast, all right.
Looks like I'm going to have to make about 5 or 6 trips today. And every one of them is a heavy one, too, with all them candy and nuts and oranges and fruit and stuff in there.
Oh, by the way, did you take that basket of groceries out to the widow Jessup's place?
Yeah, I taken it over. I had an awful hard time getting her to keep it, though. You know how proud she is.
Yeah, well, what'd you finally do with it?
Well, I finally just told her we had a contest of some kind here at the store, and she won a basket of groceries.
Well, you reckon she believed that?
Well, to be honest, I doubt it, Lum, but leastways it give her a reason to take it without hurting her pride, you know.
Yeah, well, you had a good idea there.
Yeah, of course, she never win the contest.
No, well, who did win it? Oh, what's the matter with me?
No, we never had none. I just made that up.
Sure. Be sure and remind me to set aside a few toys to take over to her young'uns on Christmas Eve.
Yeah, sure. Well, I reckon I better start toting out some more of these orders here. Which ones you want to go first, Lom?
Oh, I believe these on the end here, Abner.
Right here?
Say, you ain't got all your Christmas shopping done yet, huh?
No, not quite. See, now, who are these for? Pomeroy's? Don't get such scratching. I wish you'd print this stuff on here. Barton? Blevins?
You know, there ain't many shopping days left till Christmas, Abner.
No, I reckon not. Oh, Redfield. I couldn't make it. I made one deliver over to the Redfields today.
Yes, sir. Just 2 more shopping days till Christmas after today. And that ain't many.
Me, what's in this order for the Sea-Stronks? A batch of bricks they going to give their young'uns this year?
You know, if a feller waits too long with his shopping, the things he wants to buy are all gone, generally. If I was you, Abner, I wouldn't wait too long.
No, I won't.
Who all ain't you bought presents for, Abner?
Oh, I don't know, Lum. Papa, for one. I never can figure out nothing to buy for him. He'll never give you any ideas what he wants. Just says, oh, anything'll do.
Yeah.
And after you get him something, why, looks at it and says, oh, couldn't get a pipe, huh?
But why don't you get him a pipe, then?
I tried that once. He unwrapped the pipe and said, oh, couldn't get a muffler, huh?
Muffler?
Yeah, and he ain't even got an automobile. No matter what you get for him, he always says, oh, couldn't get something else, huh?
Well, who else ain't you bought presents for yet? For this Christmas?
Let's see now. Oh, I can't think now, Lum. I can't concentrate. I'm thinking about these orders.
I wished you wouldn't get me anything.
Not nothing?
Well, not hardly nothing.
Oh.
Don't go spending a lot of money on me this year. Wartime and all that.
No. Well, I wouldn't feel right about it, not giving you nothing at all, Lum.
Well, of course, if it'll make you feel better, you might pick me up some little trinket of some kind.
Yeah, I'll think about it.
Just some little thing, like, say, something made out of leather, maybe.
Yeah. Well, I got to get out that shopping pretty soon, too.
Yeah, better ought to.
Both these baskets here go to the Quincy's?
Yeah. You know, I was just thinking, Abner, a good place to do your shopping's right down there at Ed Beckley's drugstore. He's got an awful nice line of merchandise in there this year.
He has, huh?
Oh, yeah. He's got things down there like, well, different stuff. Might save you a lot of trouble if you just run down there and look things over, sort of.
Yeah. Well, Might do that. Well, I better get going here.
Well, wait a minute, Abner. I'll make a couple of them delivers for you. That'll give you a chance to go out and do a little of your shopping right now. Like, say, down at the drugstore.
Oh, no. I'll get that later, Lum.
No, you don't want to wait too long. Ed's liable to sell out them, different stuff he's got down there.
Well, if he sold out of one thing, I'll buy something else. Can't waste any more time sitting around here. I know that.
Well, wait a minute, Abner.
Well, what is it you want, Lum?
Why, say, I just noticed in my desk over there.
Your desk?
Yeah, look how sort of ragged it looks.
Yeah, well, I ain't got time to straighten that up for you now, Lum.
Well, I never meant for you to straighten it up, Abner. I was just thinking that if a feller had something to set on there.
You mean Cedric?
Cedric?
Yeah, he always sits on your desk when he comes in here. I don't believe that'll make your desk look any better, though, Lum. I'll clean it up for you right after Christmas. I know I won't have time till after then.
Well, I don't want to put you to no bother, Abner. I just thinking that a feller that's president of the school board, besides being an owner of a store, he ought to have a better-looking desk.
Yeah, he ought to, I reckon. I don't know where you could get to buy a new desk, though, now.
Well, you wouldn't have to buy a whole new desk. All you'd have to do is, well, the most important part of a desk is the top of it, or what sets on it.
You mean you want Cedric to buy you a new desk?
No.
I don't believe he can afford to buy one of them, Lum.
Well, I don't want him or nobody else to buy me one.
Well, what do you want with Cedric, then?
I never said I wanted Cedric.
Yeah, well, if I see him anywhere while I'm out delivering, I'll tell him to come over here. See, now, you said that I ought to take the Pomeroys and the Bartons and the Blevins first, huh?
Well, no, come to think about it, better get the Redfields and the Seastrunkses first.
Oh.
And then, long as you have to go right down there by the drugstore to get to their places, you might just sort of glance in the drugstore window there as you go by.
Well, I will if I have time. Never will get my work done today, though, with all this stuff stacked up.
You know, it was a funny thing. I happened to go by the drugstore myself this morning. I seen some pretty good things in the window there. They had a leather desk set in there, red trimming.
A desk set?
Yeah. But I wouldn't think of having nobody buy me that for a Christmas present. Way yonder too much.
You think it is?
Oh, yeah. $7.49 what it comes to. Of course, Ed wouldn't let a feller charge you. Wouldn't really need to pay for it all at one time. But I wouldn't want that no way. Hardly.
Well, I don't know. It
don't think.
Sounds like it might make a pretty good present.
Yeah, but I really don't want much for Christmas, Abner. Special the way things are this year. Just some little knock-knack, a calendar or something.
A calendar?
Yeah, I don't care what I get this year.
You mean one of them calendars with a picture of that Indian girl there with her hand up to her face looking out over the cliff looking for a horse and she's sitting on it all the time?
Well, it don't necessarily have to be a calendar.
Well, what would you like then, Lum, now that we brung up the subject?
Oh, I wouldn't know what to suggest, hardly. I'd rather just leave that up to you, Abner. I'm sure you can find some little thing down there at the drugstore.
Like what?
Oh, I don't know. I ain't much interested in receiving presents, tell you the truth. The way John would rather give them.
Well?
Nothing's too good for my friends and business partner.
Yeah, I'm your partner.
I've always felt that way. So, you see, I wouldn't know what to say. Wouldn't want to suggest nothing like a desk set, for instance.
Well, wouldn't that be pretty good?
At $7.49? No, that's out of the question.
Oh.
I'd be perfect satisfied with a handkerchief with my initials on it. Always like to get some little thing with my initials on it. But I'll just leave that up to you.
Yeah, well, all right.
You know how I am about them things.
Yeah, sure. Say, Lum, would you mind stepping back in the feed room there whilst I make sort of a private telephone call here?
Oh, no, not at all. Be proud to. Fact is, I'll run across the street to Dick Huddleston's place so you'll have plenty of time.
Yeah, well, don't be gone too long now. This won't take but a minute.
Well, take plenty of time. Red's my favorite color.
What'd you say?
Nothing. I just noticed some red trimming on something here. I'll see you later.
Yeah, all right. Oh, hello? Is this you, Ed? Well, this is Abner. Say, Ed, you know that leather desk set that I had picked out for Lum? Well, I reckon I'll have to change that, 'cause Lum don't seem to want one. Yeah, it is cuter, but that's what he said. Oh, I don't know hardly. Have you got any of them there necktie racks left? Oh, good. I'll take a red one, Ed. He says that's his favorite color.
Oh my gosh, it seems like Lum just hinted his way out of what he wanted for Christmas. Lum and Abner, that originally broadcast 79 years ago, December 21st, 1944, here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Visit our webpage, classicradio.stream. That's classicradio.stream. Have yourself a great day. Tell your friends the greatest radio shows of all time are right here on our podcast, Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.